Professor Pavlo Santorini views on the phenomenon of UFOs. It's been rekindled, and there's interest after UFO encounters, especially in the United States of America. The subject of UFO flying objects rekindled in 1966 following a series of serious UFO sightings in the USA. The American astronomer Alan Hynek, who at that time participated in Project Blue Book 1952 to 1969, which studied the subject of UFOs, expressed the opinion that the phenomenon of these strange objects were due to the fumes of the marshy lands which meet with the layers of the atmosphere and ignite, especially during the spring season. However, Hynek himself added that this explanation was not a complete proof of the nature of the phenomenon. In other words, he thought it was swamp gases. Nevertheless, no scientific explanation could shake the faith of those who affirmed that they had seen these strange vehicles in the sky. In the state of Michigan in March 1966, numerous eyewitnesses testified that they had seen luminous objects flying in formations at a height of 50 meters from the ground, and indeed with a sound similar to the siren of an ambulance. 90 female students of Hillsdale College, along with their principal, also reported the appearance of a mysterious flying object emitting colorful flashes. The flashes, however, in a strange way, went out as soon as a police patrol car approached. Eventually, it was revealed that the mysterious lights came from a neighboring college, whose students confessed to causing them themselves, trying in this way to impress their gullible colleagues. Female students at Hillsdale College, Michigan, stand at a dorm window from which they said they saw the UFOs, which they observed for several hours on the night of March 21st, 1966. The same thing happened in California, where university students reported that the mysterious objects were balloons with intermittent lights, which they had released themselves. So for his part, the Secretary of Defense, Robert McNamara, categorically denied the existence of unidentified flying objects piloted by extraterrestrial beings. From the early 1950s until then, in 1966, the U.S. military authorities had reported that about 10,000 mysterious objects had been sighted in the U.S., but most of them, as it turned out, were stars, meteorites which had even been verified at the site of their fall. Planets like Venus had their light somehow reflected by layers of clouds. Artificial satellites, airplanes, searchlight flashes, large stratospheric observation balloons driven at great speed by the wind. One of the UFOs seen in the Michigan area in March 1966, only 100 of these cases could not be explained, but experts rejected the idea that they were alien devices. No observatory had noted their presence, nor photographed them, just as no radar had detected their presence. Of course, the authorities ruled out that the flying saucers could have come from beings that inhabited the planets of our solar system, because all of them are either too cold or, on the contrary, hot, lacking oxygen, or surrounded by poisonous gases. However, others argued that similar vehicles could have been built by beings from from other planets belonging to other solar systems tens or even hundreds of light years away. From another side, there were scientific explanations of the phenomenon in Greece, for example, which was given in a radio interview by the professor of the Polytechnic, Pavlos Santorini, in 1966. According to this Greek professor, the flying saucers were a reality based on indisputable incidents and testimonies, and indeed from people who were in different places, on testimonies of pilots of the American Air Force, and on other scientific evidence. Santorini is referred to the book of a French researcher of UFOs, Aimé Michel. Mysterious Celestial Objects is the title, published in Paris in 1958. Concluded that these were vehicles driven by beings from other celestial bodies. Michael's book was prefaced in writing by Wing Commander L.M. Chassin, former commander of the Air Defense of Central Europe, who recognized that in the matter of UFOs, there was really a reality that we should not ignore. The important thing was that there had been findings of the mysterious passengers of these discs landing, which of course disappeared as soon as the person approached. All of them, right? The superintendents, these, according to the coincidental descriptions, were between 90 and 110 centimeters tall, roughly human-shaped, and with the same characteristic gait. Their relatively large head was inside a metal diving suit, apparently due to the insuitability of the air for the breathing of these beings, said Professor Santorini in his interview. Regarding the scientific explanation of these phenomena, the professor referred to the theory of the Frenchman Plantier. According to Plantier, the beings who direct these mysterious celestial vehicles have tamed the force of gravity, resulting in the possibility of orienting it in any direction and producing it under any tension. A consequence of the effect of this force, which the professor called the Plantier force, where the inexplicable phenomenon that accompanied the appearance of flying saucers, such as the lack of noise, despite the high speed of movement within the atmosphere. According to the definition of the hypothetical Plantier force, the air surrounding an object, also subject to this force, follows the object in its movement. A consequence, too, of this is that there is no appearance of heat, precisely because of the lack of friction. On the question why these extraterrestrial beings do not give us a tangible proof of their existence, the professor's opinion was that these beings, in order to achieve the commitment of the hypothetical Plantier force, must definitely be in mental and spiritual, in general level, far superior to us humans. Consequently, it is not certain that with our situation we can perceive some of their manifestations which are real, but beyond the capabilities of our human perception, such as, for example, a dog cannot perceive the difference between a column of a temple and that any other stone, because, as the professor mentioned, the dog only perceives that which belongs to his spiritual level. We ask why there are no space visitors. The answer, however, is amazingly simple. They don't exist because only our eyes see them, but not our spirit, which is incapable of this, he said characteristically that at another point of the radio interview. And finally, Professor Santorini also referred in his interview to the incident which took place in the USA in 1948 at Goodman Air Force Base located near Fort Knox, where all the gold of the United States was kept. Please leave your comments about this, and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.